Hello and welcome everyone. We're going to talk about Game of Thrones. We got the most relevant show on the entire YouTube, only about a day too late, maybe even more. Depends on how long I take to edit. Here's Erich. How did you like this episode of Game of Thrones?
Wow, Florian, I did not expect to be here talking to you about Game of Thrones. This episode has to be a big one because it's the middle of the season. It's a very short season, and we've got the big, huge battle of Winterfell where the White Walkers and the Army of the Living and the Army of the Dead face off, and it's bad. It's really
you
bad.
thought so too? Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to be the downer here, and you said...
What a waste.
Well, in what way did you think it was a waste?
All right, so there is no strategy present in this battle.
God, it was so bad.
You have a bunch of horsebound Dothraki that you send into complete and total darkness, and you essentially sacrifice them up. And at first I was like, did they just think that the Dothraki can't really do much more than that? Like, what is the reasoning here? And you get a really, like, I have to admit, it's a cool scene where, like, Melisandre comes back and lights their swords on fire and shit, and so they all ride towards the, like, blackness, and, like, I don't know that it's going to fail so utterly, so, like, that part was, like, cool, but, like, the lights start going out, and that was a really neat, like, visual thing, but the entire thought of you have all of these very, very insanely powerful horsebound people, and you send them out like that to just die, and the thing I was thinking was, you should be sending those guys out, and then as the White Walkers are coming towards you, or the Whites are coming towards you, you have them... What the fuck? You have them essentially do hit and fade attacks, where, like, they real quick run in, kill a bunch of people, when they're far away from Winterfell. Because, like, if you know that they come back to life,
that wouldn't work too well either.
Why?
The way you... I mean, I guess... people in Game of Thrones particularly, and people in general in these historical things, they just have no idea how to use cavalry, because cavalry is not good against infantry formations. You can't just charge into a bunch of infantry and hope that you're going to win with cavalry. The only way you're going to use cavalry is by flanking them and by picking off the stragglers. You can't go for them when they're in formation. And they will be in formation, I assume. But I guess they just didn't have any idea where they were going into. Mm-hmm. And so that was just completely fine. So the way they should have done that would have been to have the Dothraki at the sidelines, and then they would flank as soon as the
sides,
as soon as the undead charge the front line. That's when they attack. But you can't put cavalry in the front line. That is just so ridiculous. And then the next step is that they have the next line right after the worst front line ever is the trebuchets. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You couldn't have put those anywhere else where they're not completely exposed.
And also use those first. Like,
well, I mean, they did use them, but I guess
if it's completely dark there, set those fucking balls on fire and then launch them so you can see. Like, if they're dead set on not using their cavalry correctly, then at least use the advantages that you do have, which is it's dark, so you gotta light the way somehow. And then, so also, you have giant fucking dragons, and they chose not to use those dragons until, like, 20 minutes into the battle?
Well, they shouldn't use the dragons because they could just die, and
but
they're too important.
You have to find out that the Night King's either there or not there, and if Night King's not there, then the risks of using that dragon is pretty damn small.
Well, how could you tell?
Well, here's the thing. The way you could tell is you could have Bran scouting out the area for you using the fucking ravens. Something that Bran doesn't do until fucking halfway through the episode.
Did he not have enough ravens? And this whole idea of Bran being the bait in this trap is so fucking ridiculous, because just because the Night King knows where he is doesn't mean he's gonna go there himself. He could just send troops to kill him.
Yeah, right. Like that is the safest thing. If you have this resource, which is this undead dragon, and you only have one and your enemy has two, you're kind of not gonna ride in there unless you absolutely have to. You will just send your entire army against them, and then, like, you don't have to come in and kill him yourself. You could
I don't know what exactly the plan is. Maybe he actually needed him alive, but then he could have still. I don't know, how much intelligence is there. Can he tell his guys to not kill the boy and just leave him for him? Would that
I don't
have
know.
worked?
I have to assume he can, but we don't know that for sure. And I think that what they're trying to suggest is that the Night King is like he's overconfident and he's like he wants to mock.
Well, he should be, considering how incredibly bad they were. Holy shit. I mean, I'm not even done explaining how terrible their strategy was in this battle, because why would they put all their troops outside the castle? How does that make sense?
The good thing about castles is you can just fucking wait in there and push them back as they try to come up.
I like how halfway in the siege, they say, man the walls. Are you kidding me? You didn't have the walls manned until halfway into the siege? Why?
Then, like, the trenches they dug were pretty good, but, like, you could have several rows of trenches that would stop them at several points. And then, so, one of my problems is, as soon as they get into the castle, the White Walkers, and, I'm sorry, the Whites, essentially just run around and do whatever the fuck they want. Like, they should have had traps at several places. They should have had, like, dragon glass everywhere so that they'd be stepping on... They should have, like...
I don't think that's how that works. Like that. I think you have to hit them in a vital spot at least.
Say again?
I don't think them stepping on dragon glass will kill them.
Yes, it will. As soon as it touches them, they fucking die.
Come on, not if it touches them in their legs. It has to touch them in their torso for sure.
I'm pretty sure they'd die.
Not in the leg.
I want to say it was.
I don't know. I guess it's kind of magical. The same thing with the shattering steel. It just shatters as soon as it touches the ice for some reason.
And then, so, like, what I think this episode did do pretty well was, like, it essentially ramped up the intensity. So, like, things were getting worse and worse for our main characters as the episode went on. The only problem is we don't have enough deaths of main characters alongside that to make us really care, because you can watch all of these Unsullied and all these Dothraki and, like, just all these, like, Westerosi soldiers die, but I don't give a shit about those people. I give a shit about, like, the main
You don't
characters.
like Grey Worm?
Grey Worm doesn't even die!
He doesn't? Ah, fuck.
No,
why do they all look so similar?
Yeah, he doesn't die. So, like, that is one you could easily kill. You could easily kill Tormund in this battle. And I have no idea. You could kill Podrick, you could kill Gendry, like, all these...
Well, I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad he finally stayed his hand with his genocide of main characters.
It doesn't feel like much was sacrificed in this battle. Like, we did lose Jorah Mormont. He died defending Daenerys. We lost Theon, who died defending Bran. And, like, but those are the two mainish characters, and those are, like, C or D tier.
There was Bronn.
Characters.
I mean, Bronn was pretty awesome, and now he's dead, I assume.
Bronn? Bronn wasn't in this episode.
Wait, what the fuck? Who was I thinking of? Who protected Sam?
Someone... Dolorous Ed.
Oh, wow. Wait, which one's he?
Yeah, Dolorous Ed died, and he was more of a D tier character.
Wow, how could I think that was Bronn? That was amazing.
I don't know. There was also Beric. Beric died, but he was like a C tier character.
Oh, so that means Bronn's still alive. I guess that's good.
Yeah, Bronn's alive.
I was silly there. Wow, that is crazy. Well, I'm glad that they got this stuff done with, at least. I'm so glad that we can now focus on the Battle of the Queens. I can't wait to see who wins. I guess it's gonna be Daenerys, but I really wish it would be Cersei. I think she's worked way harder for this.
You're saying Cersei will win everything?
Well, I hope so. I don't think she will, though. I think Daenerys will win, and they'll just
I want Sansa to be on the Iron Throne.
Oh, Sansa?
Yeah.
I don't know.
She's been through the most.
She's been through the most? Are you kidding me? Surely Arya has been through the most. But then again, Cersei has been through the most. She's had to walk barefoot naked through the city. And did you see her feet? Oh my god.
Yeah, she's awful.
You never see anything as brutal happening to anyone else than those feet. Stepping through all the glass in all the city. Those poor soft feet that never had to walk in any rough terrain before.
Wow, Florian, you have ultimate empathy for Cersei Lannister.
Hey, come on, that was pretty terrible. And she was so nice to the High Sparrow, and then he betrayed her in such a way. I'm so glad she blew him up. That was the best. Oh man.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was totally a moment that I was cool with.
That was such a a great moment. Oh my god! And then her stupid son just kills himself. What a wimp.
Yep.
Do you think that was like the least justified suicide ever?
Probably. But okay, so let's get back to the big battle, because Florian,
Sure.
one of the worst parts of this fucking show was the dragons. Because for most of the fucking time, they were just flying up in the sky looking for the Night King, when they could have been like down helping the soldiers and shit.
But how does that help? The only thing that matters is the Night King.
Well, but like ultimately, the Night King just kind of flies in their way. They crash into each other, which is fucking
Is that
dumb.
something that happened?
Yes, it's something that happened. Fucking
Are you sure?
Daenerys and Jon crash into each other.
I thought that they crashed into the Night King because he fell off.
No, it was Jon and Dany crash into each other, and then like after that, they eventually come across the Night King.
How could they possibly crash into each other?
I guess it was like there were the huge blizzard.
Oh well, that makes sense then. I mean that's an attack by the Night King, so that's fine.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I guess that's good then. I didn't even realize
another thing
that.
Is, it was, at least for me, and one of my problems was I watched this show with a friend, and he has cable, so I was watching this on cable. And
is that terrible quality?
It was very terrible quality. I could barely see a goddamn thing while I was watching this. Did you have a problem seeing through the darkness?
Well, it was so fucking dark. I mean, I would have had to wait till midnight for it to be visible at all. Mm-hmm. I had to close my blinds, my curtains, and it was still too dark.
Right.
I mean, I do have my windows, my desktop really dark because it's just more convenient for the eyes. But if stuff like that happens, that's very inconvenient.
Yeah. So Jon gets pushed off, or they push off the Night King.
Yep.
And Jon gets dropped off right around the Night King, and he starts just running right to the Night King. And then the Night King resurrects all these dead soldiers all around him. And then Jon kind of can't do shit, so he backs off. But one of my problems here is that all of these characters are repeatedly in like deathly danger, and we cut away from them while they're in deathly danger, and then we get back, they're somehow fine for the most part.
Yeah, he was just fighting those new skeletons, and he just aced it, I guess. And then next scene we see about him, he gets saved.
On him, it's insane. Like if you actually watch this show with like the intention of, okay, I stopped this plot line of Jon being surrounded by these guys, and then I'm going to see what happens when they come back, and it's a completely different situation than when we came from previously. And that happened a lot. We'd have several scenes where like Jaime and Brienne and Pod and all these like main characters are like fighting, and they're being swarmed by zombies, and then we cut away, and then when we come back, they're just fine. Always like
and then they just have some hot cocoa and everything's fine.
And man, not like,
man, that was really shit editing. Actually, did you see when the zombies got in? Because at some point they're outside the walls, and then later we see Arya stalking through some empty halls, and then there's zombies there. What the fuck? How did any of this happen? How are there empty halls? You should have the largest army in the world in this castle, and you've got empty halls. Yeah, of course, because all the troops had to be outside where they could die easier.
Right, I don't know.
And then they don't show how they get in, the zombies. They don't show how they break through in a big way, but they must have done because they were in the hall.
Right.
Did you see when they broke in?
No, not really.
Damn. Yeah, I don't think they showed it. They were just in from one scene to another.
Yeah, and then so like I did like the scene where Arya was kind of like sneaking around with all those zombies in the library or whatever.
That's
but, like,
exactly
it is
the
kind
scene,
of insane. Yeah. It's kind of insane to me that their hearing is so good that drips of blood is something they'd hear.
I don't know. It's a big hall. Might be a bit of echo, but I guess they would make sound on their own.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say they make sound. There was like a fire going. Like there's enough atmospheric noise that drips of blood shouldn't be that loud.
Yeah, especially because there's a battle. How did that happen? Those weren't fresh zombies that he resurrected there. What were they?
No.
Oh well, I guess we'll never see the Night King in any non-winter scenario then. Like, wait, does he just bring the winter with him wherever he goes?
Yeah. The Night King does that, and I think the White Walkers do it too.
Right, so I guess we could have never seen him in the beaches. That would have been
and then
cool.
What was I gonna say here? How did you like Arya killing the Night King?
I guess that was good. I like how she dropped her blade, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, she dropped it," but she caught it with the other hand and stabbed him real good.
That for me is the one dumb thing that I'll just give this episode, because that moment was fucking badass. Like, I have
Why
no
is that
idea
dumb?
how she came out of nowhere to like fling herself at the Night King like that. Like, we did see the one White Walker, like you could see her go past when his hair kind of moved, but like her powers have always been so fucking vague that I have no idea how she's able to do anything.
Yeah,
she's
can
able
she
to, like,
can she become a zombie? I guess not. I guess you'd have to take.
I feel like she didn't take off a zombie face or anything. She was just her.
Can she only take faces that she's killed or anyone has killed?
Yeah. Only things she or somebody else has killed.
Oh yeah, I guess so. So when she was that little girl, that was the girl that had the terminal disease that had to be euthanized.
Yeah. Wait, she didn't have to be euthanized.
You don't remember that?
She had grayscale, but they cured it.
No, not that girl.
Which one? What are you talking about?
The first face she ever took is from that girl that comes to the house of black and white, and her father wants her to take the water of death.
Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah, because I was just like, well, I guess she just uses faces, but I guess there really are faces from actual humans.
Yeah.
How inconvenient, she can't paint her own faces or anything. I guess they have some kind of soul sliver that makes them, that gives her all the characteristics.
A soul sliver?
Sure, some residue.
Florian, what do you think about the Night King's design? Do you think he looks threatening at all?
I mean, I kind of like him, but I guess
sometimes he looks really silly.
the crown looks kind of silly. It's supposed to look cool, but really it just looks like he's got bad hair. If it was more like a traditional crown shape, but made out of ice, it would be better. Probably.
When he was smiling next to the fire, it just looked dumb. He just looks like a doofus.
And he had so much black makeup on his eyes. I never noticed that before.
I think the scene where in the Hard Home episode, when he brings all the dead people back to life and he just like raises his shoulders like that, he looks really badass there. And sometimes when he's riding the dragon, he looks cool. But like sometimes it just really looks like he's got a plasticky face and it just doesn't look. It doesn't look as effective as it should. He looks like a fucking bargain bin Darth Maul a lot of the time.
Not a Darth Maul.
Yeah.
That's so different.
A horn crown.
Oh, well, I guess, yeah.
He looks like somebody's Darth Maul OC.
It's
Darth Maul, but it's blue and he has ice powers.
Well, they're not horns, they're just upside down icicles, I guess, and they're just random. They're not in a good pattern. That's the problem. Oh man.
Alright, and then so Arya kills the Night King, all the other White Walkers all fucking shatter, and the entire army of the dead dies. What did you think of the crypt? They were down in the crypt and all the zombies came back to life.
Yeah, of course, because they wouldn't use not the smallest glimpse of strategy. Of course, they didn't burn the corpses in the crypt, so of course they came to life.
Like, watching this episode, I have to imagine that Jon Snow told them nothing. Like, he didn't say a single goddamn word to anybody here about what they should do to best prepare for this attack.
Well, I mean, Daenerys didn't tell them anything either, because her strategy was just so much worse than anything. But I guess would they destroy the graves of the Starks? Well, I guess they probably should have, because they were going to get destroyed anyways.
Yeah, if it's down to the living and the dead, you want to protect the living.
Oh, but all those graves, huh? What a shame. I guess he didn't believe he could actually resurrect them all the way. I mean, he barely managed. It was pretty late in the thing. If only he could have killed him sooner.
So even though I loved the second episode of the season, this third episode is making me dislike this season now.
Oh no! Well, at least it's over now.
What do you mean it's over now? The big
the Night King.
Night King. Okay, yeah, that's true. That was partially where a lot of the problems started with this show.
Yeah, I mean,
was the Night King.
They're kind of turning it into Lord of the Rings in some ways.
Yeah, because it's like big budget blockbuster thing, and that doesn't work, I don't think.
Well, I mean,
Game of Thrones is best when it's like political and it's all these people backstabbing each other, and if they're big battles, it's like an army against an army, not. Although, like, that's not right, because the Hardhome episode. So the Hardhome episode is not an entire battle. It's like the last 20 to 30 minutes is the battle, and that's one of the best battles because there's a really good build up to it. Like, it's very horror based at first, but then you have these great visuals of all these zombies like throwing themselves off a cliff, and Jon Snow goes up against a White Walker and kills it, and the Night King raises the dead. Like, I think one of my biggest problems with this episode is that they almost do nothing new. Like, we've seen dragons fight. I don't think we've seen dragons fight each other, so I guess that was new. But like a lot of this stuff, the Night King bringing zombies back to life, a giant, the Army of the Dead like throwing themselves on the fire. Like, we've seen this kind of shit before, and they didn't really add a new element that made me super excited.
Well, I mean, an element is that it's all dark, because the last time he always had to strike during the day because they were escaping, I guess. Mm-hmm. But now it's all in his court, and he can do what he wants, and what he wants is to make it confusing and annoying and full of chaos. Mm-hmm. So he's achieved that. He completely reduces visibility. He brings this great blizzard. What a maniac!
The Night King had everything right before him. He almost won this entire battle. He played it pretty perfectly. What the fuck? Okay, I forgot about one of the stupidest fucking things in this entire episode.
What is it?
Was Jon Snow yelling at the dragon. The dragon roars at him, and then Jon Snow just yells at the dragon.
The undead dragon?
Yeah, the undead dragon.
Yeah, I guess what was his plan, but he was cornered, so he probably would have died anyways.
Sure, but it's just dumb. Like, I feel like we cut back to Jon Snow trying to get past this dragon like 3 or 4 times, and he just can't do it. So, like, why is he trying?
I guess that's too bad, because it would have been awesome to actually see the dragon roast Jon Snow, but then he can't die because he's a dragon himself. Yeah, that would have been so amazing, but why didn't they do that? That's too bad.
What I think should have happened is he should have killed the undead dragon, and that's the thing he gets to do. Like, the dragon, like, sets him on fire, but he is fireproof, so he just keeps walking through the fire, and then, like, cuts the dragon's head off or some shit. I don't fucking know. Like,
and the dragon will not even use melee attacks. He's just so confused.
No. He's just set on setting him on fire.
And they set the Night King on fire, and he didn't mind at all. That's so weird. Mm-hmm. Why are all the zombies so weak to fire, but not him?
I don't know.
But he's still weak to Valyrian steel, I guess, but not fire.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, I really wish they would have just burned all of Jon's clothes off, and he had to walk nakedly, full of, and you can see his scars, and you can see him full of ashes, and then they confuse him for a zombie, and that's how he dies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, guess it'll never happen now.
Yeah. So Florian, this is a big letdown for me. I'm interested to see where it goes next, but we only have 3 episodes of the show left. So,
did you see my tweet where I predicted that it would kill the Night King in this episode?
Oh, well, you totally predicted it then.
Yeah, I did. I was quite happy that actually happened, and we don't have to deal with any more of these horror elements, and we can focus on the real meat of the show.
Yeah. So now hopefully we've got this behind us. The show will get back up to good standards.
I mean, I guess it doesn't make any sense any other way, because they couldn't just make peace and fight the Night King. That would be lame, wouldn't it?
But I actually think that would have worked better. So, like, my idea is Cersei sends, like, half of her guys up, and you can't really trust those guys, and they're kind of, like, trying to sabotage, like, the dragons and shit, because, like...
Sabotage the dragons? Damn.
Yeah, because essentially if Daenerys has all those dragons and they beat the Night King and all that, like, she can just come down to King's Landing and use the dragons to burn the fuck out of Cersei. So, like, they are going up there to help, but also to try to sabotage where they can, so that when Daenerys comes south, Cersei will have somewhat of a better shot.
Well, what do you mean they kill another dragon somehow?
Yeah, they find a way to kill, because like both of her dragons are still alive. Like,
yeah, I'm surprised. I would have thought one of the dragons would die for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of them looks like it's wounded more, but like they're still alive.
Was he wounded? Which one?
Rhaegal, the one that Jon was riding.
Oh, well, what happened to him? I don't remember him getting wounded.
I think he got into a big fight with the.
I remember. Oh my god, it was so stupid. They just landed in the dragon, in the zombies, and the dragon just let the undead crawl all over him without reacting to it.
That was Daenerys' dragon, and I think he flew away and lost a lot of the ones. Because I think when Jorah died defending Daenerys, I think God damn it, I keep forgetting what that big one's called.
So what happened to Jon's dragon then?
It got really fucked up by Syrian, and I think it had to fly away.
Was that the other dragon?
Yeah, that's the one Jon was. Yeah, Viserion is the zombie dragon.
Right. Yeah, I don't remember the dragon names. Just wondering by who was riding them. By the way, what do you think of riding the dragons? Do you think that adds anything to them? Because wouldn't they be more powerful if they wouldn't have to worry about someone really vulnerable riding them?
Oh, but I mean, like, I don't know that you can, like, control them when you're not on them.
Well, they're supposedly smart already, so you wouldn't have to.
Yeah, but you can't do as much strategy just letting them go crazy.
It seems like one dragon rider would have sufficed.
If the Night King comes, like, they don't want to lose another dragon to the Night King, so, like, you have to, like, play it smart.
Well, even then, he can't dodge as easily with someone riding him.
I think they can. I think it's not a big deal.
Well, if you say so. Mm-hmm. Well, I think one rider would have sufficed, though. 2 riders seems excessive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know, Florian. This whole battle episode was not up to snuff for me.
Damn. Well, I guess I'm really hyped now to see what happens next, though, because now we really see what it all comes down to.
Yeah.
I guess the only way it could have been cool if Cersei had been abandoned by everyone and then she somehow strikes an alliance with the Night King.
Oh my god.
That would have been pretty amazing.
How would she even do that?
Oh, maybe he really likes gold. I don't know. Maybe that's the whole reason why he came. Mm-hmm. Or maybe she actually got an elephant and then he's so pleased with the elephant. How would she do it, indeed? I don't know. I guess we'll never learn about the Night King now. Did he have any strategy in him, or was he just a mindless monster?
I don't think so. It's really dumb.
I mean, he was pretty cool, but I guess he doesn't have any goal other than to kill all men.
At least not in the show. I'm sure that in the books there will be a better explanation for what the hell.
Oh wow, maybe I'll have to find the audiobook sometime when it's out.
Well, we're still missing 2 books, and
7 and 8 weren't.
6 and 7. 6 and 7 have yet to be released.
Wait, so is that corresponding with the seasons?
No, because we're currently on season 8. They caught up to the books by around season 5 or 6. 5 and 6, basically.
How many books were there? Oh, 5?
Currently only 5.
So I guess there's
the 6th and 7th book.
There's one more season and there's books then, I guess, for when they caught up.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. And you should subscribe and hear more of us talking about Game of Thrones.
Yep.
Can't wait to see what the great finale will be, even though I'm afraid the next episode may be a lot of preparation again.
It'll
Hopefully
be preparation
not.
For another battle. Episode 5 will be a big battle, and then episode 6 will be wrapping everything up.
Are you really sure there's going to be another preparations episode? Don't you think there'll be some kind of skirmishes already?
They got to get to King's Landing, my man.
Well, I guess Cersei might make some big plays while they're gone.
Yeah, sure. She's going to, prepare her giant fucking crossbows or whatever.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think she's also going to lay a trap, maybe capture something.
Oh, wow.
Hopefully.
Man, if I were Cersei, I would try to kill those dragons as soon as possible.
Well, yeah, but how do you do that? You want to maybe engage the the army somewhere where the dragons have to save them, and then there's where the crossbows are. Because surely you wouldn't just put them, huh?
A giant net, Florian.
Yes, they'll never burn the giant net.
Nope. A giant metal net.
We'll just make it out of really thin Valyrian steel.
Mm-hmm.
They'll never get to destroy it. It'll be impervious.
It's genius. If we were leading Cersei's army, we'd be in business here.
Oh man, can't wait.
All right, I think that'll about wrap us up there.
Yeah. Subscribe for more. Bye.
Bye.